Yo, 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 what's up, everybody? This is your boy AC LA Sports Live. As promised, we're back with our coverage of the first round of the 2024 NBA draft. Um, I got a lot of stuff I got to do, bro. So let's get the stream up and going. Let's switch to draft coverage. If anything of note happens, I will come back in and chop it up with you guys for a minute, but we'll definitely be on live for the Lakers 17 pick when they pick number 17, or if a trade happens involving the Lakers before that time. We just got a some breaking news that came across the wire that Jimmy Butler, according to Shams, will not. I repeat, Jimmy Butler will not be signing a extension with the Heat. So I guess I guess that means he's available. Um, doesn't necessarily mean right at this moment. I believe he's still under contract for another year. But anyway, the Heat are not our concern right now. Our concern is the Lakers and this draft. So I got some things I got to do here at the crib. So I'm going to go on mute and fire up this draft, and then we'll see how it goes. You guys make sure you like, comment, share, and subscribe the video, the link. If you guys want to hit the Cash App, that'd be much appreciated. Let's fire this puppy up. Let's fire it up. Where is it at? Where is it at? Where is it at? Where? Okay, just hold on. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on 1 second. Let me get the video going in the meantime. Don't leave. Just hold on a minute.
We have now met all of the players. The 2024 NBA draft is after this.
I always knew I wanted to pursue a career in music. And throughout that path, I've eaten Taco Bell. It allows me to free up money and time to do what I love to do. I can then spread as much joy as I can on the dance floor and be visual representation for others so that they believe they can pursue their dreams as well.
Bring color to life with the very best paint, only at Sherwin-Williams.
It takes fire and iron to sizzle the perfect strip. Or does it? Hormel Black Label Microwave Ready Bacon. Live for it.
This will be a gold mine of local intel, just you wait.
Right. So tell us about this corn festival.
Oh, you got your corn pudding, you got your corn chowder.
So is it safe around here?
Sometimes.
If the family of 8 were to need a cold plunge, where would they find it?
Oh, then they dip it in butter and bam, it goes right. Really cute vampire bar like the Reverend does, like a blessing on the corn.
Donut shops. How far from here?
No eyebrows?
Think of how light it'll feel in the summer. You gotta run. 11,000 more neighborhoods to go.
Ding dong.
Homes.com.
Welcome to Brooklyn, where we are on the precipice of ushering a new class of players into the NBA. There are drafts where franchise changers, once-in-a-generation talents are already known. This year's draft is chock full of diamonds in the rough. It feels like a night where almost anything can happen. Who will be selected number 1 overall? Will it be Zachary Risachet or Alex Starr? That field feels as wide open as it's been in years.
The joy of the perfect fit.
Hopefully, I can go in and contribute and maybe turn it around.
A symbol of past and future. A thread connecting legendary names.
I'd love to be like some of the greatest players, maybe even surpass them.
A scene held together by a dream.
Now this is the beginning, and there's so much more ahead.
Banner number 18 has been secured.
The future is in the cap.
When I was younger, I would put on a hat and act like I've been drafted. The huge representation, a lot comes with it.
Adding another stitch in the tapestry of the game.
If I heard my name that draft night, it would be the dream come true.
Here goes. Playing, we put it in. How big was that? That man is NBA bound.
This is a night to arrive in style, with one last accessory to come.
With the first pick, Shaquille Stephen Curry, Victor Wembanyama.
Tonight completes the fit at the NBA Draft.
Welcome to the 2024 NBA Draft presented by State Farm. This year's draft class, they hit the red carpet in style. Donovan Clingan, Richard, I think you might have something like that.
Look, I love a
Looking
tuxedo.
fresh, looking clean. Stephon Castle, I love that he has a castle as the chain. Reed Shepard going nice, classic, and clean. Jay Billis approved, but really, Rob Dillingham, this is, you're wearing the same jacket as you, Jay. What are we doing? Let's get it started with NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
Good evening and welcome to the 2024 NBA Draft. As a new class of players enters the league tonight, I'm reminded of two giants of our game who we recently lost. Jerry West, the number 2 pick in the 1960 NBA Draft, and Bill Walton, who was selected number 1 in 1974. Jerry played in 9 NBA Finals and won 9 championships as a player and executive. Bill won 2 championships at UCLA and 2 more in the NBA. Both were named one of the 50 greatest players in league history. They were 2 very different people. Their backgrounds, their personalities, their interests, and their style of play, all strikingly different. But what connected them was their shared love and devotion to the game of basketball and their dream of playing in the NBA, the same dream that bonds this year's draft picks. Like Jerry West and Bill Walton, all the players selected tonight have their own unique story that led them here to the draft, a culmination of years of hard work and dedication. The draft, of course, is also an important night for our teams. Look no further than the Boston Celtics, the reigning NBA champions. In consecutive years, they selected Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum with the 3rd pick, 2 players who became all-stars and then led their team to its first championship in 16 years. Congratulations again to the Celtics on a record-setting 18th NBA title. To the fans here in Brooklyn and watching around the world, thank you for your support throughout the season. We wouldn't be here without you. Let's get started. The first pick in the 2024 NBA Draft belongs to the Atlanta Hawks, who have 5 minutes to make their selection.
From Buckhead to Bankhead, Atlanta's on alert for a place where parties don't stop till 8 in the morning. Who will they be celebrating tonight as the #1 pick is the question. You see the Atlanta Hawks watch party there. But Richard, should we take a little trip down memory lane for the Hawks here? The St. Louis Hawks, they won the franchise's first and only NBA championship in 1958 with Bob Pettit being the star player. Pettit also won the inaugural NBA MVP the previous year. And then in May of 1968, the St. Louis Hawks relocated the franchise to Atlanta. The first and last time the Hawks had the #1 pick was in 1975. They selected David Thompson from NC State, but he opted to go to the ABA, where he was also drafted #1 and decided to play out west in Denver. Atlanta, though, alive and well. Dominique Wilkins was starting for the franchise. He is the franchise's all-time leading scorer, nicknamed the human highlight reel for a reason. He also won 2 NBA slam dunk contests. In the last 10 seasons, though, the Hawks have made the East Finals twice, once in 2015, of course, in 2021. But over the last 3 seasons, they've not won a playoff series. It's been almost 50 years since the Hawks have had the #1 pick in the draft. But finally, this May, that's why the watch party is so packed. The Hawks won the lottery. They had just a 3% chance to do so. But really, Richard, there is a laundry list of things that the Atlanta Hawks need to decide on as a franchise. They're on the clock right now. We will see in just a couple of minutes who they select #1 overall. But the backcourt pairing of Trae Young, and DeJounte Murray, that's really a decision they're going to need to make.
No, it is a decision. When you look at DeJounte Murray and what they gave up to get him, they thought bringing an all defensive level guard in to pair with Trae Young, but it just hasn't worked the way they want. And then when you look at, there's conversations out there about what's the market for Trae Young, and that puts Atlanta in a very difficult spot. Do you try and continue to build around these two? Do you move one? Do you go with the best player you can, or do you go with a player that might fit their talents?
Right.
That is the complicated spot that Atlanta's in, and that's what we're all waiting to find out.
And if it is Zachary Risachet, as Adrian Wojnarowski reported that they were zeroing in on here, Jay, he fits their 3-and-D sort of need, because Atlanta really struggled defensively last year.
He checks a lot of boxes in the versatility category on both ends of the floor. He's a really good team defender. He's not a spectacular NBA athlete, but he's athletic. And he does a lot of things on the offensive end. He can shoot it. He's an excellent cutter. He's very good in transition and a good passer. And I think he's got a fair upside. But Atlanta also needs rim protection. And there are a couple really good rim protecting big guys in Alex Sarr and Donovan Clingan that certainly would have to be considered there as well. But it sounds like Risachet is a player that they're really, really interested in at #1.
Well, it looks like they just made some sort of pick. A call has been made. Congratulations are already going around in the Hawks draft headquarters.
Well, I talked to Landry Fields last week, GM of the Hawks, and he said the Hawks right now, they don't have a style of play. Things feel very disjointed in Atlanta. Trae Young makes a basket, but it doesn't necessarily lead to the team's success collectively. The fans don't know what to cheer for at times. Whoever they just got really excited about picking, it's going to lean to a style and hopefully the team being more unified out there on the court.
Yeah, and to Jay's point, they need rim protection. They're 27th in defensive efficiency, 24th in defense on on-ball screens, 29th in transition defense, and 25th in rim protection.
Okay, Richard.
What?
I mean,
Which is abnormal.
Notes over here.
It's abnormal under Quinn Snyder, though, who obviously, had Gobert for so much of his tenure, but we usually see a more defensive prowess from his team.
Well, and that's one of the things that they brought him in for. They brought him in to try and improve the overall defense. It still hasn't worked, but I don't know if there's a collective buy-in as a group. That's the issue, and we saw when Trae Young was out, DeJounte Murray was playing, and how the team played. That just only fueled the fire, and then they get gifted the #1 pick with a 3% chance, and now they have it's a great place to be in, but it also complicates things a little bit more.
It looks like we have at least one Hawks fan in the building.
All of us are in the building in Atlanta.
Wait, no, there's 3 total and some berets to go with it. You think that's to welcome in potentially Zachary Risachet?
And this is the thing, we talk about defense and rim protection, but you can also up your defense by having enthusiastic perimeter defenders. And so when you think about Zachary Risachet, what's going on?
After chugging that beer, those two guys aren't French.
What do they need? Wine?
Yeah, they need, they need a little bit of wine. Yeah, maybe an afternoon cappuccino.
I'm just glad they're here, repping the city.
Repping the city, wondering who is going to be joining him in their city in Atlanta as they are on the clock with the #1 pick. We are hearing they are getting close. Obviously, we just saw at the draft headquarters where some exciting phone calls were potentially made. If you're moving down the checklist, though, for Atlanta, obviously DeJounte Murray, Trae Young, their futures at the top. What are you looking at next year?
There's a lot with this team. Again, they have wing players if you're talking about Atlanta, but again, I think this is a situation, the best player in this draft, go get and figure out the rest. That is the position that they were gifted in. That's the position they have to maximize.
Well, the pick is in. NBA commissioner has the envelope in his hand. Let's head to the podium and see who is the #1 pick in the 2024 NBA draft.
With the first pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Zachary Rizache from Lyon, France, and France's JL Boron-Bress.
More celebratory drinks going around. For the second straight year, a player representing France goes #1 overall as Zachary Rizache, the 19-year-old, is headed to Atlanta. He says that as long as he can remember, he was in the gym. His dad, of course, was an Olympic silver medalist with France, a 6-time French League All-Star. His sister was the MVP of the U16 European Championship last summer. And fellow Frenchman Victor Wembanyama, he says that he probably doesn't know anybody more talented than Zachary Rizache in this draft, Jay.
Well, we talked about his versatility, Malika. He's a two-way wing that is a very confident shooter. He shoots just under 40% from three, and he's rangy on both ends of the floor. I like the way he moves without the ball, and he can cut off the ball. And with, Trae Young and DeJounte Murray, that's going to be an important factor. He's talented and has a lot of potential. I wouldn't call him an explosive athlete, but he's a good athlete, and he's not really a creator, but he's a talented player that can play on both ends of the floor for the Atlanta Hawks.
We've talked about Atlanta and their defensive struggles. Zachary Rizache is an active, intelligent defender. He's enthusiastic on that side, and he can defend 1 through 4. So he also helps Atlanta's defense. He's electric in transition, who can run with Trae Young if they keep Trae.
Of course, he's a recipient of the Best Young Player of the French League this past season as he gets his moment with the commissioner, Adam Silver. Let's bring back in our draft expert, Jonathan Gavoni, to walk a little bit more through his game.
Malika, every NBA team is looking for a wing player like Zachary Rizache. 6'10" in shoes, 8'11" standing reach with an excellent frame, has a feel for the game, competitiveness, and versatility defensively to guard all over the floor. His team, JL Bourg, had the #1 ranked defense in the French League and Euro Cup. They asked him to guard everybody from point guards to power forwards. You don't see this very often from a teenager playing against this level of competition. 45 dunks this season, more than any wing player in this class. 39% three-point shooter. Rizache started in a EuroLeague game as a 16-year-old. Now he needs to improve his ball handling and shot creation to become more than just a 3-and-D role player like he mostly was this season, as well as add strength, which should come in time. I've been watching since he was 15. I love this pick from Atlanta. He's been #1 on our board all season. Quite a few NBA teams told me they had him #1 on their final board as well.
Well, Rizache, he says, Jonathan, that he will do whatever it takes to be great, and now he is headed #1 overall to the Atlanta Hawks. It's actually the 7th time a player has been drafted #1 without a college background, and you can just see the international flavor that we have seen at the top of the draft in the last couple of decades. And now Zachary Rizache is with our Monica McNutt.
Zach, the second year that a Frenchman goes #1 in the NBA draft, and I saw you smiling as we took a look at the scene at State Farm Arena, your new home arena. What are you thinking about joining the Atlanta Hawks?
That's a blessing, so exciting. There's a lot of feelings and emotions right now. So I don't know what to say, but that's definitely special, and I'm so blessed by the the years that all the work that I've been through, and all my family is here. I'm so happy to have them here, my friends, and like this is amazing. I don't know what to say. That's special.
You got it. It's very special. Congratulations, Zach. We'll send it back upstairs.
Monica, thank you so very much. Congratulations to Zachary Reese-O'Shea. Hearing from these players in the moments after they are drafted, it is one of the best parts of this night. Zachary Reese-O'Shea headed to the Atlanta Hawks, and now the Washington Wizards, they are on the clock. Really, the question for the Wizards is what is next in this rebuild that they are going through? This is an organization very much in flux post Bradley Beal and John Wall. They went 15-67 last season, the worst record in franchise history. Kyle Kuzma, though, was one of their bright spots, averaging just over 22 points a game, a career high. He led the team, and of course, they hired Brian Keefe, removing the interim tag there as head coach after firing Wes Unseld Jr. mid-season. So, Richard, when you're looking at the Washington Wizards here, you're giving me a look.
What?
What's that look that you're giving me?
The Washington Wizards need a lot of help. Any player that they have the opportunity to get, they are a team that even when I played 5 years ago, they were still searching. They obviously moved on from Bradley Beal. I feel like it was a year or two too late. So they move on from Bradley Beal. So now Kyle Kuzma's a good player. They have talented, but they are so far away. They are in a very different position than, let's say, the Atlanta Hawks that have two legitimate all-star caliber players on their team.
Yeah, we should mention that Washington also picked up the 14th pick, as Adrian Wojnarowski reported just a little bit ago. So they're going to be picking again in just a little while here. But since Richard's saying it's top to bottom, there's a whole lot of things that the Washington Wizards need some help with. Let's try to help them out here, Jay. Who do you see from this draft class as a fit?
Alex Sarr, also from France. Alex Sarr played pro basketball basically from age 14. He played in Spain, then went to overtime elite, and then to Australia. But with his shot blocking ability, I think he could be an all defensive team member in the NBA.
So let's see if Alex Sarr is in fact headed to Washington. The pick is in. Let's send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the second pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Washington Wizards select Alex Sarr from Toulouse, France, overtime elite, and Australia's Perth Wildcats of the NBL.
Alex Sarr, the 19-year-old Frenchman who helped France actually win a silver medal at the 2023 FIBA U19 World Cup. As Jay mentioned, he's been a pro since he was 14 years old. When he was with Real Madrid, he spent 2 seasons, of course, with the overtime elite and a year with Perth. His brother, Olivier Sarr, plays for the Oklahoma City Thunder. You see him sharing this moment with his family. And Alex told me that he was really most looking forward to sharing this draft, this moment with Olivier. But Sarr certainly has, Andrea, one of the more unique paths to the NBA.
Absolutely. I mean, he has played internationally. He has so much experience. You have to think he's drawing from his older brother's experience as well, with Olivier being in the NBA, like you said. The thing about Alex Sarr, he can light a fire under the Washington Wizards defensively. It's the first thing he mentioned at the NBA Combine to Christine Williamson when she talked to him. He said, my defensive versatility, my passion on that side. The Washington Wizards can lean into that, and his ceiling is high.
Let's bring back Jonathan Gavoni to learn a little bit more. Hey, Jonathan.
Hey, Malika. Alex Sarr is the type of unicorn big man every team covets in the modern NBA, with his ability to protect the rim and space the floor. 7'1" with length, mobility, and explosiveness in spades. He led the Australian NBL in block percentage, but he can do more than that with the way he covers ground, hedging ball screens, switching on the perimeter, and operating out of drops. He's not a finished product offensively by any means, but the flashes he showed, pushing off the defensive glass, passing out of short rolls, finishing skillfully out of pick and roll, and even stepping outside and making 22 three-pointers this season gives him quite a bit of upside to tap into on that end of the floor as he gets stronger and tougher and improves his feel for the game. Sarr's camp honed in on Washington from very early on in this process, with general manager Will Dawkins telling associates he sees shades of Chet Holmgren in Alex Sarr, a player he had a role in drafting in Oklahoma City. I see a little more Kristaps Porzingis here. Malika, it's 2 for 2 now. The French Revolution continues in the NBA.
And your miles are all the way up, Jonathan. You were traveling the globe seeing Alex Sarr's journey because, as we mentioned, we haven't really seen one quite like this. He was born in Bordeaux, France. He started playing basketball at the age of 4 years old. Rich, were you playing at 4?
No, but little Richard was.
Little Richard's already playing there. Real Madrid, he played for from 2019 to 2021, and then the overtime elite from 2021 to 2023. Zoom. There we go. And then after that, the Perth Wildcats in Australia from 2023 to 2024. You didn't like my Zoom?
Do planes go Zoom?
No.
I don't know if that's a
What's the noise do planes make? I guess they shouldn't be making one, otherwise they're in a little bit of trouble. But Sarr and Richeche, Jonathan Gavoni mentioned the French Revolution. It's the first time since 2003 the top 2 picks in the draft didn't go to college. And now Alex Sarr is with Harmonica McNutt.
Well, congratulations, Alex. This is just the second time, or the third time, excuse me, that the draft's top 2 picks have not had college experience. How has France prepared you for a career in the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just all over, everywhere I played, like you just built me for this moment.
Your brother, obviously a big part of your basketball inspiration. What has he shared with you about playing in this league?
I mean, he shared a lot with me, like everything I've learned is through him, and he gave me all his knowledge, and, till this day, it's really special to have someone like him in my corner.
I hear you getting a little choked up. Tell me why.
Because, I went through his draft, and, I know how it feels to go out undrafted, and for me to be able to be a top pick now is, it's really special.
It is special. Alex, enjoy tonight. Congratulations on your next chapter.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Alex Sarr getting emotional, understandably so, seeing his dreams realized here. And the Houston Rockets are now on the clock. We talked about this as really being a very interesting inflection point in the draft. Are we going to see this pick selected? Are they going to move on? This is why, by the way, the Houston Rockets have acquired the number 3 overall pick. It goes way back to the James Harden trade. You can see all the particulars right here on your screen. I want to bring in our front office insider, Bobby Marks, into the conversation because, Bobby, Houston really has an interesting dual timeline that they're trying to achieve here. They have this young pick that they're about to bring in, and then they also are in win-now mode. How do you balance those two things?
Yeah, and they also have Jalen Green and Alperen Sengun, who's rookie extension eligible, and they've got the draft assets they acquired from Brooklyn now. So I think you're going shooter. They need a playmaker. 26 in assists last year here. I think you're trying to win now. Top 10 in defense here. But I think you do need to improve your offense, Malika.
The Rockets finished 41-41 in their first season under Ime Udoka. The pick is in. Let's send it back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 3rd pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Houston Rockets select Reed Sheppard from the University of Kentucky.
Reed Sheppard has been called the best shooter in this draft. His parents, by the way, happy birthday to his mom, were both big-time players at the University of Kentucky as well. And if you had told him just a year ago, Jay, that he would be in this position, he said that, you know what, I really wouldn't have believed you. He has risen so far up the boards. He's an outdoorsman. He loves camping in his spare time, and now he is headed to the Houston Rockets.
What a meteoric rise for Reed Sheppard. His high school AAU team was called the Leftovers. But he is the best shooter in this draft. Shot 52% from 3 last year for Kentucky. Makes great decisions in pick and roll situations, but he can shoot it from deep. He can shoot it off the catch and shoots very well off the dribble. An elite passing feel, very low turnover rate, and a very smart defender as well. He's kind of a free safety type defender. He gets a lot of steals, deflections, and blocks, and a very underrated athlete. Finished very high in the vertical leap, the standing vert, and the max vert at the NBA Combine. One of the questions when he is guarding the ball, can he stay in front? of elite guards in the NBA. He's small, but man, he can really shoot it and has a great feel for the game.
The thing about Houston is what? It's hot. Reed Shepherd is the type of player that can go on a heater. He's a heat check kind of guy, but it's not just his three-point shooting. He can score from all over the court. 54% from the field. Floaters, mid-range game, 52% from the three-point line is his immediate impact that he can take to the NBA. He knocks down his free throws. What impresses me the most are his basketball instincts. You can tell he comes from a basketball family. He knows how to play with the guys around him, whether he's drawing defenders and kicking. Assists per game, that's another thing that he thrived in. 4.5 assists per game. And defensively, you talked about staying in front of the ball, Jay. That is where he can improve. But he's enthusiastic, he's active, he gets out in the passing lanes, and he's an underrated athlete.
Woo. He's been working out with Chris Paul, who told me that when they were together last month, they really worked on the defensive side of things, and Chris was really impressed by his shooting and his work ethic. But we know that John Calipari now, of course, at Arkansas, but he has an excellent track record of many, but particularly guards doing well in the NBA. You can see here De'Aaron Fox, John Wall, and Reed Shepherd now joining this elite group of Kentucky guards picked in the top 5. And now Reed Shepherd is with our Monica McNutt.
Shepherd family, Reed. A few minutes ago, you told me you were a little bit nervous. How are you feeling now?
No more nerves. I'm good. I'm super excited. This is awesome. Unbelievable. My mom's birthday today, so it's going to be a great night. It already is a great night, so it's awesome. I'm super thankful.
Happy birthday to you, Stacey. You guys have been a part of every milestone of his life so far. As parents who have been a part of this journey, what are you feeling tonight?
Just so thankful, overwhelmed with appreciation, so proud of Reed, and God's been so good to our family. We're so glad to be here.
We're just blessed. I'm thankful to be here, enjoying with my family. We've got 75 people, family and friends that are here, and get to celebrate with them. So this is an unbelievable day.
It is quite special. Now, Reed, to the basketball of it all. Folks are excited about your ability to shoot the ball, but you're going to the NBA where the defenders are even better. What are the Houston Rockets getting in terms of a guy that's going to make sure you can find a way to shoot the ball?
Yeah, just a guy going in. He's looking to learn. He's going to do whatever it takes to win. He's going to, if it's not making threes right away, that's getting teammates involved, whatever it takes to win and be on the court, I'm going to do whatever makes the team better.
Congratulations, Reed. Congratulations, Mom, Jeff, and Stacey.
There is a whole lot of basketball, a whole lot of Kentucky royalty up there. But last night, Reed Shepherd, he tried his hand at throwing out the first pitch. Shall we take a look at how he did, Richard?
How'd he do? Better than Perks?
I mean,
there we go. Is that Mom catching it?
Yeah. It was a whole.
Okay, guys, we got the stream going. It will continue, but look, we got over 100 people in here. We got over 120 people in here and 8 likes. I need to get this stream popping like we did the other day. The other day we had over 3,000. I need more likes than 8 out of 120. Please like the video, support the channel, hit the Cash App, and we're going to continue with the draft. But come on, guys, the like button is free. It only takes a split second to hit it, and please hit the like button, and we're going to resume the stream.
Austin Rivers, have you seen his? And then Mom got a birthday cake earlier. It's her birthday. What better way to celebrate, Jay, than at the NBA draft, watching your son see his dreams come true?
I think she got a bigger cake. That's a cupcake.
Yeah, maybe the decorations are a little bit bigger than the cake. But now the San Antonio Spurs, they are on the clock. We're going to see them picking 4th and 8th overall tonight. So let's just take a look here. San Antonio joined the league as a part of the 1976 merger, bringing with them the Iceman, George Gervin. He was a 4-time scoring champ, but never got past the conference finals. David Robinson was the #1 pick in 87. Remember, he served 2 years in the Navy, joined the Spurs in 89, and the Admiral won the MVP award, but the boat has really picked up some speed. What noise the boats make? When Tim Duncan was drafted #1 overall in 97. The Spurs would win their first title in 1999. They'd had 2 key international players in Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, win 3 titles in a 5-season span. Kawhi Leonard, though, came on board in 2012, helping the franchise to their last title in 2014. The Spurs, they won nearly 70% of their games from 97 to 2019, but they've missed the playoffs the last 5 years. But now they have Victor Wembanyama, so anything is possible. Here's a look at the San Antonio Spurs draft headquarters here. We are looking at, Richard, the pick being in.
There we go.
We're going to hold that thought right now and send it back to the podium and NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 4th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Stephon Castle from the University of Connecticut.
Stephon Castle, the freshman guard out of UConn, the Big East Freshman of the Year. He led Big East freshmen in points per game, rebounds per game, assists per game. He's really an excellent two-way player. His teammate, Tristan Newton, of course, the most outstanding player in the Final Four, said that Castle guards the other team's best player every single night. How do you add this piece to what Victor Wembanyama is building in San Antonio?
Well, he's like a shutdown corner in football. He's a strong, powerful 6'6" athlete with a 6'9" wingspan that is tough. He's fearless, and he's a winner.
I love this moment between teammates.
Yeah, there he is with Dan Hurley as well. National champion this last year, but a playmaker really on both ends of the floor. But as an individual defender, he locks you down on the ball, stays in front of the ball, fights through screens, and he's got the ability to rebound the ball as well. And when he grabs a defensive rebound, he's got rip and run ability. He can handle the ball like a point guard. He can play out of pick and roll. The one thing, he's a limited shooter right now. He needs to improve his shooting consistency and the consistency of his mechanics, but it's not like his shot is broken or anything. He only shot 27% from 3 this last year at UConn. But I think he compares very favorably as a bigger Drew Holiday. That's how much I think of his defensive ability. Wow. Stephon Castle is a great, great defender.
It's his effort defensively, his skill set defensively, the way he moves his feet, the way he anticipates. I love what Dan Hurley said. He said, no freshman impacted winning like this champion. His combination of talent, work ethic, and humility. All of those things combined are what makes Stephon Castle this lockdown defender and this great player. I mean, you mentioned Terrence Shannon Jr., how talented of an offensive player Terrence Shannon Jr. is, and what Stephon Castle was able to do in the NCAA tournament.
He shut him off completely, and you're absolutely right, Andrea. Like, I think one of the things that was really impressive is he was injured early in the year. And when he came back and got his legs underneath him, that's when UConn they went from a good defensive team to a truly elite defensive team, and he was a big reason why. Another was Donovan Clingan blocking shots inside and controlling the paint. But you don't find defenders like Stephon Castle very often. He's a great, great defender.
And Rich, you have something in common with Stephon's father. He was also a teammate of Tim Duncan's, but him at Wake Forest.
Well, no, I think they're really excited to get a player like this. You can see what the San Antonio Spurs are building. They do it very methodically. They do it their way, and they're one of the best player development franchises that we have ever seen. So I truly believe that this is a great pick, and his shot will improve, as Jay said.
Here are the UConn players drafted in the top 5, and now Stephon Castle is with Monica.
Stephon, congratulations. All right, we're taking a deep breath. You're headed to San Antonio to play with this guy, Victor Wembanyama. You may have heard of him. But when you think of the opportunity that you now have to add your championship pedigree to this organization, what are they getting?
I mean, they're obviously getting a winner. I learned how to win last year, so I'm coming in with that kind of mindset, and just to have a teammate like that next to you, I feel like it opens up the floor so much for you to grow and expand your game. So I just can't wait to get out there.
Coach Hurley, this young man was the first All-American, McDonald's All-American commit you got at UConn. And I heard you let out a woo when you got up here. Tell me what's going on.
Yeah, well, he played like our first McDonald's, man. This guy, when you look at fit right there, the Spurs value winning. They value workers. They value championships. And this is just a perfect player for them to draft. For what they do with that organization, this guy is just scratching the surface.
Outstanding stuff. Stephon, congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Congratulations, Stephon. And now the Detroit Pistons are on the clock, and the Trajan Langdon era begins for Detroit. So I want to bring in our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, into this conversation. Detroit, Woj, doesn't have a head coach right now, as they are looking right now for who will be their selection with this pick. What's the timeline in which we could see a new head coach in place?
Malika, one candidate that the Pistons are planning to interview in the coming days, New Orleans associate head coach James Borrego. He and Langdon worked together there this past season. But right now, Trajan Langdon is fielding a number of calls at number 5 for the Pistons. Several teams have been trying to get up for the chance at getting UConn's Donovan Clingan. Among those teams, the Memphis Grizzlies at number 9. They imagine Clingan plugging right into their starting lineup. But right now, Detroit's fielding those calls. Charlotte would field them too if Clingan gets to 6. But I think for Detroit now, they're deciding whether they're going to keep this pick or there's a package they like to move back so someone can move up and grab Clingan.
Woj, thank you. It looks like maybe some decisions have been made as we take a look at Detroit's draft headquarters right there. Jay, Woj mentioned Donovan Clingan. Let's talk a little bit about his game, the back-to-back national champion.
Well, he's a rim protector, a 7'6" wingspan, and he's big, strong. That size and length, it makes him a great defender, but his timing is what sets him apart. He challenges everything in the lane and around the rim, and his timing, he doesn't leave the floor until the offensive player leaves the floor. Doesn't foul very much. He's a good rebounder, and he's got great hands. And he's actually, in pick-and-roll situations, he can hit a short roll, catch the ball, and make a pass out of it. He's a good passer, especially for his size, and the tallest maitre d' in America.
I like the fit. So Donovan Clingan, of course, is a talent we're keeping our eyes on. But as our Adrian Wojnarowski literally just reported moments ago, the Pistons have decided to keep this pick and are focusing in on Ron Holland. Tell us a little bit about his game.
Well, I mean, you think of Ron Holland, the perimeter play and his versatility at his size. Had an up-and-down year as far as the G League Ignite goes, but a player that can attack off the basket, that can get downhill. I think Ron Holland will be a great fit for Detroit.
Well, we talked about Ron Holland last night being overlooked and perhaps would go much higher than he was projected. And if he does go to Detroit, you're talking about a guy who's an above-the-rim finisher, an outstanding athlete, a big-time athlete that can get to the rim. He was the G League Ignite's best player.
And an excellent jacket there as well. We're getting close to this pick officially being in. Again, our Adrian Wojnarowski reporting that this is where they're circling here on Ron Holland. But how big of an impact does it have, Richard, not having a head coach in place at the time of the draft?
Oh, it's huge because you don't understand. And again, free agency is not far away. And so when you look at the Detroit Pistons, obviously the way the coaching carousel has happened this year, there hasn't been a lot of opportunity for them to interview I think the level of coaches that they were like, Trajan Langdon just took over the job, and apparently the pick is in.
you want to do this?
No, you do that job.
You want to send it back to the podium. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver, let's go to you.
With the 5th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Detroit Pistons select Ron Holland II from Dallas, Texas, and the NBA G League's team Ignite.
Ron Holland, 18 years old, but those close to him tell me that he is just wise beyond his years. He averaged nearly 20 points a game for the Ignite. As Jay mentioned, he did sustain a thumb injury in January, missed the rest of the season for what he says was precautionary reasons. But in his spare time, Andrea, he enjoys playing the drums. Last summer, he held his first Hoops and Health youth camp in Duncanville High School in Texas. And his dad is a chef whose specialty, Cajun Alfredo.
Okay. Cajun Alfredo. You mentioned he plays the drums, so he's good at a little bit of everything, and that's exactly what Ron Holland is on the court. Just under 20 points per game, just under 7 rebounds per game. He gets assists, he gets steals. When you talk about a franchise that doesn't yet have a head coach, it's important to get a player that can do it all. He can contribute on both ends of the floor. His skill set is so versatile. So whoever the coach is going to have a lot to work with Ron Holland.
And he's just 18 years old. He's an aggressive, lengthy wing that is a driver slasher. We mentioned above the rim finisher, and he's got a great motor. He plays really, really hard. The one thing he lacks right now is shooting consistency. Shot under 30% on all jump shots, but he had a really high usage rate with the G League Ignite, and he needs to improve his efficiency, but he's got great defensive tools and potential and really projects as a good defender in the NBA.
Ron Holland, the third player taken in the top 5 from the G League Ignite.
And he was a top recruit coming out of high school, in my opinion, chose a difficult path going into the G League Ignite to play against grown men, but his intensity level on both ends of the floor, I've seen him described as a hyper-active defender, but you mentioned it, Jay, he's an aggressive scorer. When he gets going downhill, watch his feet. They turn over almost like a running back. He picks up speed, he gains momentum, and he attacks the rim relentlessly. As he adds strength, that's going to go up even more so.
Ron Holland, one of the highest drafted G Leaguers that we have seen, and now he is with Monica McKnight.
Ryan, congratulations. The first thing in your feature is your energy. That's also the first thing that jumps off the page. Where does that come from in terms of how you approach the game?
I think that comes from my family. Growing up, I grew up around a competitive family, super competitive with my uncle's side. Really just a lot of competing with anything when it comes to playing basketball, going in the street to race, and I think that was built into my family, and that was instilled in me, and then that has carried me throughout my whole journey.
So I got to take a little bit of a sidebar, Ron, because as we were preparing for this, you're 18. Your favorite artist is Teddy Pendergrass?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me more.
Some people say I have an old soul, but I get it from, listening to all the music my parents listened to growing up. I really enjoyed listening to it, and then one day I just threw it on in the workout, and it was history from there.
Well, the Pistons locker room better debate whether you could be the DJ or not. Congratulations,
Yes,
Ron.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Congratulations to Ron Holland. The Charlotte Hornets are on the clock as the Charles Lee, Jeff Peterson era begins in Charlotte. But this night, it is about France so far. Jay, how's your French? Can you translate what Wemby tweeted?
No, I have no idea.
It's French brothers, as our do-it-all producer, Kim, is telling me in my ear. I didn't know you spoke French.
Wow.
We'll be right back.
Came back for the win. Lot of new money in my hand.
Leon, friends.
Call, tell a friend. They say success is the best revenge. I just came back for the win. Lot of new money in my hand.
Well, that's just foul.
Foul? I didn't touch him.
You want to go home right now?
You need glasses.
I just need help with my ceiling.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
You can use our app to start a claim. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This Friday, how long can you stay quiet? Rated PG-13. Get tickets now.
Pizza Hut, you owe Chicago an apology.
Deep dishes for tours. Tavern-style pizza is our thing. You just had to tell America about our thin, crispy crust.
Try any of our large Chicago tavern-style recipes for just $12 each. Sorry, Chicago. No one out pizza's the Hut.
Hi, we're Visible. Get set to travel this summer with a wireless plan that'll keep you connected on the go. All on a one-line plan with unlimited 5G data and hotspot for just $25 a month. From vacation to staycation, travel like a champion when you switch at Visible.com.
Gatorade, the world's most superior sports drink, designed to rehydrate, replenish, and refuel. It fuels the best because it is the best. Gatorade, is it in you?
This town is built on revenge. My job is to avoid a war.
Bodies are dropping.
Anybody new in town?
When I act, I do so with a purpose.
We know what this guy's capable of. He's back for a reason. We're the same breed. You think you know who you're dealing with? You don't.
Stream Mayor of Kingstown and other hit series exclusively on Paramount Plus.
Just try believing all this power in your frequency. All these doubts may have us shaking, but what's learned is never needless. Just breathe.
Born in Roma fragrances and the new Born in Roma grains Provenanza, Valentino.
You did it, Boston. The Celtics are NBA champions. It's time to come together and celebrate in style. Go to NBAstore.com right now to get all your championship.
Okay, guys, well, we got a commercial break. Do me a favor, like I said before, make sure you hit that like button. It's free. It really helps the stream out, and it gets the stream out to more people. We're trying to break the record from the press conference the other day of 3,000 people. So it will help if you guys hit the like button to show your support for the channel. Also, if you want to donate to the channel, you see the Cash App on the bottom of the screen right now. LA Sports Live. We really would be appreciated. Other than that, thanks for hanging around, guys. Thanks for staying tuned to the LA Sports Live. Make sure you stick with this channel the rest of the season, through the summer and the season, because we're going to have all the Laker coverage. And we will be making our annual trip to Summer League this summer, and we'll be having live coverage from there as well. So stay tuned to LA Sports Live. Hit the like button and hit the Cash App. Thank you.
Is your starting line. Because more important than the power you choose is what you choose to do with it. Gas, hybrid, or all electric, the power is yours.
NBA Draft 2024 is presented by State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome back to the 2024 NBA Draft. Adorable. I love the baby photos to see. The pick is in for the Charlotte Hornets. Let's go back to the podium.
With the 6th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select Tidjane Salaün from Cholet, France.
The Frenchmen continue to dominate the 2024 NBA Draft with the selection of Tidjane Salaün. It's the first country outside of the United States that we have seen have these types of numbers at the top of the draft. 3 top 10 picks here. He went from playing 17 total minutes last season for Cholet's pro team to moving into an impactful role with both the French League and FIBA Champions League. He averaged just under 10 points, 4 rebounds in 23 minutes as the youngest player in France, as our Gavoni noted, to see real rotation minutes in the Pro A. He says that he is just an energizer for his team. There is a fire in me, Tidjane Salaün says, that pushes me to be my best every single play, as he is headed up for his moment to shake hands with the commissioner.
Yeah, when you talk about Tidjane Salaün, he's got range. He can hit threes. He can hit step back threes. He can hit threes off of the catch. Doesn't shoot the highest percentage right now, but his three-point shooting is promising, which is something that Charlotte can use. His size, his versatility, and his defensive energy will also be big in Charlotte.
Jonathan Gavoni has more.
Malika, Tidjane Salaün is an ultra-talented power forward, only scratching the surface of what he can develop into at 18 years old. Some of the best physical tools in this draft: 6'10" in shoes, 7'2" wingspan, a huge 9'2" standing reach, and a very impressive frame that should fill out considerably in time. He shows impressive versatility with his dynamic shot-making ability and non-stop defensive intensity. He never runs out of energy, which helps him carve out a significant role for a playoff team in France. Not an easy feat at his age. Salaün's feel for the game and skill level is a work in progress, but let's remember, he's the youngest player to hear his name called tonight, not turning 19 until August.
Wow. 3 of the top 10 picks here tonight are from France. It's the first time that we have seen a country outside of the U.S. do this, Richard. I really think that speaks to where the game is now.
Well, the game is there. And when you look at Zachary, when you look at Wembanyama, both of them played for Tony Parker's team in France.
Yep.
So when you have one of the great point guards in NBA history that is over there really kind of running a field team, picking up players, showing them the way, developing the talent, there is a French connection. There's a French explosion coming over here right now, and I don't see it stopping anytime soon. The thing that makes me most excited about the international growth of the game is that we're about to enter into the Olympics, and the Olympics are going to be one of the most competitive collection of basketball talent that this world has ever seen, and France is going to be one of those big teams there.
Let's take a look here. Richard, that striking young man,
yes.
right, alongside some of your French teammates.
Yeah, so that was a Hall of Famer in me and then a future Hall of Famer in me. But
you're gasping for air in both pictures.
I'm exhausted right there. I'm exhausted.
Can't keep up.
No, I can't.
And now these young men tonight joining a long line of decorated Frenchmen. I want to bring back in our senior NBA insider, Adrian Wojnarowski, now, though, as the Portland Trailblazers are on the clock. Woj, we talked about Donovan Clingan being a player that several teams were hoping to move up for. What more can you tell us?
Emily, no team more than the Portland Trailblazers. They were hoping Donovan Clingan might enter last year's draft. They would have tried to select him then. They were really hopeful that Clingan would make it to 7. They talked to teams in front of them about trading up, but Clingan is going to make it to number 7. Joe Cronin, their general manager, Mike Schmitz, our former colleague at ESPN, the first time he saw Donovan Clingan was with me at about 6 in the morning during Donovan Clingan's senior year of high school. That was the first time Mike Schmitz saw him. When he went to the Blazers, he kept close tabs on him, and now the Blazers are going to get the big physical defensive center to help build their rebuild there around.
Right. It's the first year post Damian Lillard for the Portland Trailblazers, as last season was, and they ranked last in rim protection, Jay. So if it is Clingan, I want to address that, but the pick is in. Let's go back to the podium.
With the 7th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Portland Trailblazers select Donovan Clingan from the University of Connecticut.
Donovan Clingan, the back-to-back national champion. I mean, he was just a monster in the NCAA tournament. 19 blocks over the course of it, is really, as we mentioned, known for his rim protection. But his entire motivation, as you see him embracing his family here, to become good, to become a great player, came from the passing of his mother in 2018 from breast cancer. That's when he decided to really get serious about basketball, working on and really honing his skills. And he said of this moment that when his name is called, I'll be able to say my mom, as you can see there, is proud of me. She certainly is, Jay, and the Trailblazers are getting a tremendous talent.
Yeah, a lot to be proud of. Donovan Clingan has tremendous size and great length with a 7'6" wingspan. His defensive ability is really impressive, especially his timing. We talked before about when he doesn't leave the floor to block a shot until the offensive player leaves the floor first. And on the offensive end, he's a good passer, a pick and roll roller. And when he catches it in a short roll, he does a great job of passing out of it. But really what sets him apart is his defense, his rim protection. Look at him going up with two hands, still able to get a block shot. You do question a little bit his lateral mobility. Finishes inside. He is efficient, but he's not a floor spacing big guy. You know, he doesn't shoot the ball, and he only shot 56% from the foul line. That's something he's going to have to get better at. But in the post, he finishes efficiently with his back to the basket. Here's the short roll, where he can be essentially a playmaker, passing out of it, and he played on a great cutting team at UConn. But with his lateral mobility, that needs to get a little bit better, because when he gets out to guard ball screens, he can't just always play in drop coverage. He's going to want to have to get out and hedge a little bit, maybe guard for one or two dribbles. But Donovan Clingan is just a monster and a good, solid rebounder on the defensive glass as well.
And now Donovan Clingan is with our Monica McNutt.
Donovan, I know tonight is huge for you. You've got a special design in this jacket. What are you feeling from your mom tonight?
Feeling everything. I know she's super proud of me. I know she's smiling down. This is everything I've worked for my entire life, and just to hear my name called is, it don't feel real. Like you said, I got my mom over here on my side at all times. She's looking down at me. She's smiling. I know she's proud.
All right, so you've been at the top of the college basketball world 2 times over now. You're starting over as a rookie, an organization that is building. What are you going to do to stay motivated and maintain the work ethic that has gotten you here?
Man, I just want to win. I just want to keep winning. I'm never going to be satisfied for where I've been. So I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to keep trying to get better. I'm going to keep learning, and I'm just going to try to be the best player I can every day.
I have no doubt you'll be able to do that, Donovan. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So we have 2 UConn guys going in the top 10. It's the 6th time in the last 40 years the reigning national champ has had multiple players drafted in the top 10. Of course, the last one, can you take a guess?
No idea.
Duke.
No.
Oh, you were electing not to answer the question. I understand. And already the hats are going. Dan Hurley's rocking the San Antonio.
As he should.
Trailblazers. You had an interesting point on the Trailblazers.
Well, as soon as I saw that pick, I think about DeAndre Ayton. Now, obviously, unceremoniously left Phoenix, wanted his opportunity, gets there to Portland in a very difficult rebuild spot. No Damian Lillard. Obviously, they have Scoot Henderson, but now they go draft a center with the 7th pick. And look, if you're DeAndre Ayton, if you're any starting player, if you're a former number 1 pick and they use the 7th pick to draft someone in your position, that is a very, very curious thing that I think Portland fans and in that organization are going to end up having to address.
The Portland Trailblazers selecting Donovan Clingan, and now for the 2nd time tonight, the San Antonio Spurs are back on the clock, Jay. I think there was some conversation as to whether or not the San Antonio Spurs wanted to make both of these selections rather than look around for a veteran, but as of right now, who do you think fits the best?
Well, if they want scoring, Rob Dillingham is still available. He's a small guard, but he is a bucket getter. And then Matas Buzelis is still available from the G League Ignite, who's a terrific power forward that's got a lot of potential to be an outstanding player in the league.
Devin Carter is another player that I would look at.
He's a San Antonio type player.
The San Antonio type player, aggressive defensively. He's so active on the ball, and he also really increased his three-point shooting. So when you think of a couple of things that San Antonio needs, three-point shooting, defensive presence, Devin Carter could be a good option.
Jay, do you see the presence of Victor Wembanyama? He knew that this was going to be a multi-year process, but have you seen the timeline change for the San Antonio Spurs? When you have a generational talent like that, you've covered so many of them.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put as many good players around him as soon as you can, but it's still a long-term, you want to get value in long-term rebuild. And with San Antonio, they've done it through the draft over the years. And I still think that's the way you build a championship team primarily is through the draft. And you add to it with free agency and the occasional trade. But the draft has to be the foundation.
We talked about coming into this draft, the Celtics, and how they used the draft to build this team. The players that they picked together when it comes to Jaylen Brown and it comes to Jason Tatum and giving those guys time to grow, whether it's Rob Dillingham, whether it's Devin Carter, whoever is going to have time to grow with Victor Wembanyama, and that's when you see sustainable success in the league.
Well, for me, when I look at San Antonio, I talked about it earlier, they are one of the best development franchises this league has ever seen. So they are also a team that could take a player that might have some things and you're like, hey, we can work on this upside because we're in a rebuild. We can spend 2-3 years developing a player. Now, obviously, when you're at that level of a pick, you want to get somebody that can contribute, but also I think what they're looking for might be different because of where they are.
When Rob Dillingham declared for this NBA draft on NBA Today, and he talked about the prospect of playing with Victor Wembanyama. He thought that he would be the perfect guy to pair alongside him. He said he really doesn't mind coming off the bench the majority of the season, taking on whatever role is needed. He's okay with another big star being there. And now the pick is in. Let's see who it is. Sending it back to the podium for NBA Commissioner Adam Silver to tell us.
With the 8th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the San Antonio Spurs select Rob Dillingham from the University of Kentucky.
This is exactly what Rob Dillingham Dillingham was hoping for, a home with the San Antonio Spurs. He was the SEC Sixth Man of the Year. He studies the likes of Jason Kidd, of Steve Nash, of Darius Garland. And Missouri head coach Dennis Gates said this about Dillingham. He's probably the best isolation player in college basketball.
And he is lightning in a bottle. When you talk about being crafty, explosive, high-flying, he has hang time. He can take contact in the air and finish. What he lacks in size, he makes up for in skill. And you mentioned being SEC Sixth Player of the Year. He knows what it means to whether it's come off the bench or have a smaller role and light it up. His scoring ability is incredible. I'm already imagining him running around Victor Wembanyama in handoffs, the speed that he plays with, the energy that he brings. San Antonio will love him.
He's just a hooper, man. He can go out and get buckets. And Rob Dillingham is ultra quick. He's got a great handle, but his speed, his quickness, his change of direction really sets him apart. And he's a shot creator. You know, I would say a three-level scorer because he can get to the rim and finish creatively and creates for himself. Now, at times he's been unfocused on defense, and he is small. But when you're good enough, you're big enough. And this guy is good enough. We got to get away from microwave. It's more air fryer. Microwave is an old technology. He is an air fryer scorer, but he can score from anywhere on the floor. And when he gets on a roll, man, he can put points up in a hurry, and did so last year quite a bit. Elite speed and quickness. He's elusive, and he's also a good passer.
He's not afraid to take the last shot, whether he comes off the bench, whatever, it doesn't matter. You can imagine step backs. Darius Garland is a great comparison for Dillingham.
But you're not going to be imagining him next to Victor Wembanyama because, as our Adrian Wojnarowski just reported, Minnesota has traded for the 8th pick and Rob Dillingham. It's time now for Welcome to the Neighborhood, brought to you by State Farm. They were both with the Spurs, but now, as our Adrian Wojnarowski reported, Minnesota once again has traded for the 8th pick and Robert Dillingham here. What do you think of his fit there with Minnesota, a team that is really trying to eclipse where they were in the playoffs this year?
Minnesota is very, very close. And to me, to see them move into this space to get a player of that caliber, you look at, let's say, bench scoring, backing up Conley. You look at the talent that they have. So if you need a burst off their bench, which I think that they were lacking on the scoring side, you get a young player that you're confident about, that you believe in. You say, hey, look, you're going to come off the bench with these veterans. We're going to show you the way. And now all of a sudden you start to look at that burst scoring, that bench scoring, which was so big in the postseason if you had bench depth. And that's something that I think Minnesota just added.
You know, you talk about this league and some of the best teams, what do they do really well? They shoot threes. They knock down threes. Rob Dillingham can do that. Coming off of the bench, he's got elite speed. He can run with Anthony Edwards. He is the type of player that fits with any team because he is just that talented. He's so committed to his role and doing whatever the team needs to be successful. Also, playing for Minnesota will challenge him defensively. You know Minnesota is a team that leans on their defense. Rob Dillingham will grow in that area with those players around him.
How do you see him? I mean, such a big personality. We really love having him in studio. Another big personality, of course, Anthony Edwards next to one another on the floor.
Just go ahead and think about the post-game interviews, because if those two are together, you're going to get laughs. You're going to get all kind of jokes. They'll probably pick on each other, but it's going to be special. I mean, Reed Shepherd talked about Rob Dillingham being one of the funniest guys that he knows. That's Anthony Edwards for all of us, for the entire country, for the entire world. So those two together will be fun.
The Minnesota Timberwolves, Rob Dillingham being added to their roster here. I'm watching as Adrian Wojnarowski is now reporting. There's also an unprotected first 2031 and some future picks that are involved in this. So clearly the Timberwolves, they are very active right now, but the Memphis Grizzlies, they are now on the clock. Richard, what do you think of this? Is a team that really, when you're talking about the Western Conference, it's only going to get better next year, and it's because of teams like the Grizzlies and the return of Ja Morant.
They have so much talent on their team. Just a couple of years ago, before the injuries, they were one of the picks to go to the NBA Finals. They're able to bring back all of those guys. They got Bane. They got Ja Morant. They have a lot of talent.
They gotta go big.
They gotta go big.
They gotta go big.
Well, let's
literally
see if they do.
Like a big player.
Because
On the inside.
the pick is in. Let's head back to NBA Commissioner Adam Silver.
With the 9th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Memphis Grizzlies select Zach Edey from Toronto and Purdue University.
Wow. Andrea, you said go big, and they did, because Zach Edey, born in Toronto, Ontario, where he played hockey and baseball. He started playing basketball his sophomore year of high school, and then he later attended IMG Academy in Florida. And then after 2 years at IMG, he announced his decision to attend Purdue. He became a two-time AP Player of the Year and has become one of the most decorated college basketball players of all time. At the NBA Combine, you can see the legends that he joined here with that two-time Player of the Year nod. But at the Combine, his measurements came out, ready for this, Rich? 7'3" 3/4, weighed in at 299 pounds. His size is a rarity in the NBA these days, but how will his game translate, I think, has been the question over and over again for Zach Edey, Jeff.
Zach Edey isn't just big, he's massive. Just absolutely massive. He's a physical force in the paint. Big, powerful inside presence with a 7'10" wingspan. His footwork has improved immeasurably from when he came out of high school as an unranked player. He's only been playing basketball for about 6 years, but he's got really good hands.
Amazing.
He's got an excellent touch with both his right and left hand around the basket, keeps it high, rebounds at a really high level. Last year he averaged 25 points, over 12 rebounds a game, over 5 offensive rebounds. Gets fouled, goes to the free throw line, and knocks his free throws down. But the fact that his footwork and mobility has improved so much over the last several years, I think his game is going to translate to the NBA. Is he going to be a guy that's going to be a stretch big? No. But he's going to change your rotation when he's put into the game because of his size.
Well, and what I love about his numbers is that every year he got better. Every year he improved. That's what NBA players and NBA teams want to see. When you look at their team, when you talk about Jaren Jackson Jr., Defensive Player of the Year just a couple of years ago, now you're adding a big. Steven Adams, when he was out, there was a big hole in what they were trying to accomplish.
Yep.
So now all of a sudden you have another big. Jaren Jackson Jr., you got Bane, you got John Morant, you got Marcus Smart. This is a team that, if they can see healthy, will be a force next year in the Western Conference.
But there were so many questions, as I said, about how his game is going to look in the NBA. I want to bring in our Adrian Wojnarowski into the conversation, because I think there are a lot of folks who are surprised Edey went as high as number 9 here, Woj.
Malika, Zach Kleiman, the general manager in Memphis, he was determined to get a center in this lottery. He tried to get UConn's Donovan Clingan. He was negotiating right up until the final moments with Charlotte at number 6. He knew he had to get in front of Portland at 7. And when Clingan went off the board to the Blazers, Zach Edey now heads to Memphis, where he'll have an opportunity on a team returning that could be a 50, 55 win regular season team to be their starting center.
Woj, thank you. Go ahead, Andrea.
Well, you know what I love about that graphic where we show his stats getting better and better? What you don't see by just looking at those numbers is how every season he became more powerful. Every season he became more mobile. Every season he became more confident. Those things growing in his game. We talked about early in his career, he was like a wall. Late in his career, he's more like a battleship. Either way, he is daunting defensively. I don't think he's close to his ceiling.
On now, the Utah Jazz, their pick is in. Let's go back to the podium and Commissioner Silver.
With the 10th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Utah Jazz select Cody Williams from the University of Colorado.
Cody Williams, the first freshman drafted from Colorado in program history. He was a member of the Pac-12 all-freshman team. His discipline, his maturity, when you talk to folks around him, that is what they commend him on. He comes, of course, from a military background with his parents there, and that is where that comes from. He has leaned on his brother, Jalen, in this process. Jalen, of course, the 12th pick in 2022, and was a key piece for the Oklahoma City Thunder this year. Shaka Smart, the head coach for Marquette, said this of Cody Williams. He said, probably the best young player in the country. He is a ridiculous talent, Jay, that's for sure.
Long arm, versatile wing that can shoot it. He's
Great
got
handshakes. Oh. Do you guys have a handshake like that, Rich, Jay?
Well, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're working on it.
You got a lot of work
My
to do.
wingspan's not long enough to get to RJ. But talking about Cody Williams, you know, the versatility, the fact that he can shoot it, and he's highly skilled. Very good in catch and shoot situations. He can get that shot off a little bit quicker, but a good defender because of his length, and he can switch and stay in front. One of the things he needs to improve upon, he's not a great rebounder right now. Not explosive. He's a little bit thin, so he needs some strength. But he can put the ball on the deck. That shot that he has means that he can draw defenders out, put it on the deck, and he's got long strides getting to the basket, and he's a good finisher. I think he needs to improve his pull-up game, but his length makes him a good defender and a versatile defender that can switch and guard multiple positions. But Cody Williams has got a lot of ability and a lot of upside. I agree with Andrea. He's got a high ceiling as a freshman. He's barely 19 years old.
The thing about Cody Williams too, Jay, and you know this, he played injured a lot towards the end of the season. You saw some of those highlights. He has a mask on. He had a broken orbital bone that he was playing through towards the end of the year. I think his numbers would have been even better towards the end of the season, but that alone shows his toughness. He is so skilled, naturally gifted scorer, great handles, great first step, great floor to build on.
And now he is headed to the Utah Jazz. When we come back, Danny Hurley is going to join us right here on set, hear from him on the other side of this break. But also, we're going to take a little look back. Jay, 40 years ago, Michael Jordan doing this.
Oh.
You know it's serious when the tongue's out. We'll be right back.
You're the Marine?
Yeah.
You the ex-con?
I'm trying.
Good. Stop talking.
No alcohol detected.
It's your first job?
I know what I'm doing.
Oh, late for a career change, ain't it?
Gotta find those guys before the cops do. Everybody in New England is after us.
What are you doing?
Taking notes.
Taking notes on a criminal conspiracy.
The Instigators. Rated R. Watch the trailer online.
We gotta go! We gotta go!
Twisters. Rated PG-13. In theaters July 19th.
Why not? Why? The eau de parfum and the new elixir. Yves Saint Laurent.
The innovation you've been waiting for is here. Built on the 16X Cheez-It platform, it's the biggest breakthrough in crunch technology ever. Think big.
This is the mark of a fighter. A rich, full-flavored lager with a crisp, refreshing taste. A reward for those with a fighting spirit. You've earned this, so hold it up high. Modelo, the mark of a fighter.
Hey, Lexus, show alternate routes. Technology that's ready for the road ahead. The Lexus NX.
So much anticipation for this championship fight.
He knocks people into other dimensions. Gary Prohaska! This man is dangerous. Boom! A fantastic night of mixed martial arts. Fires in. Sears! In front. Go! Oh, what a finish! It's so on.
What would you like to pay for your hotel room tonight? $185, $169, or $155? Same room, same service, just different prices. It's really up to you. Well, nobody asks you this at reception, but that's exactly what Trivago does. Trivago compares hotel prices from hundreds of booking sites. So, save yourself valuable time and money. Use Trivago, compare hotel prices, and save up to $30 a night. Hotel? Trivago.
Disability is not a dirty word.
It takes a lot to be able to get to the pride part of disability because we live in an ableist society.
There are millions of people like me. They are overlooked and underestimated.
I have a mind, I have a heart, I have a passion.
It's who I am, whether I'm sitting or standing.
If I didn't have this disability, I wouldn't be the person that I am today.
Say disability.
With pride.
Chicago Bulls, the team that's ready to go next, and they have the third pick today.
The Chicago Bulls pick Michael Jordan of the University of North Carolina.
I can hear his engines revving now. 63 points, and you're looking at an all-time record. Oh, what a move by Jordan! Oh, unbelievable!
He took off just a little inside.
Okay, guys, while we're in a commercial break, do me a favor. Hit that like button. Hit the like button. It really helps the channel out. It really helps the stream out. It helps us get the stream out to more people. I really appreciate it. Again, and it's free. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. The way this is looking now, because my schedule is running tight, as soon as the Lakers make their pick at number 17, I will end the stream, and we will redirect you to one of sister channels. Either I'll let you know. I'll let you guys know what channel to go to. But from the Lakers, after the Lakers make their pick, we'll redirect you to one of our sister Laker channels. Again, hit the like button, and if you feel inclined, you want to help the channel out, make sure you hit the Cash App.
That is what you do with a talent like Michael Jordan. Speaking of the Chicago Bulls, their pick is in.
With the 11th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Chicago Bulls select Matis Buzelis from Chicago and the NBA's G League team Ignite.
This is so special for Matis Buzelis, who grew up really just outside of Chicago. You can already hear the Bulls theme song.
I get chills. I'm not gonna lie. Every time I hear it.
Every single time, and I imagine he is as well. He played a myriad of sports growing up: gymnastics, swimming, which is still a part of his workouts, and soccer. Both of his parents played professional ball in Lithuania, and he told our Adrian Wojnarowski that in Lithuania, basketball is a religion. He, of course, is coming from the G League Ignite, who struggled a bit this season, a 2-32 record, but he said he picked the Ignite because he wanted to play NBA rules. He wanted to shoot NBA threes here, Andrea. He wanted to play against NBA veteran competition.
He wanted to be challenged, in other words. And I talked to Anthony McClitch, who was over G League Ignite all season. He said Matis Buzelis was the best when it came to professional habits. He picked them up the easiest out of all of those young guys. And you already see the emotion from Matis. How special.
I mean, can you imagine, Jonathan? He is going home in his home in the NBA.
Malika, NBA scouts scour the globe searching for wing players like Matis Buzelis. 6'10" in shoes, a frame that will fill out significantly at time, and NBA dunk contest caliber explosiveness. He brings outstanding instincts as a rim protector, developing playmaking, creating off the bounce, passing ability, and all kinds of versatility defensively on the perimeter. Now, the big question is the jumper. He made just 27% of his threes this year, but there were some shooting indicators we've seen in previous settings. He shot 43% for three as a high school senior. Malika, NBA teams will bet on Lithuanian jeans all day. Pound for pound, it's the top country in the basketball world. Chicago Bulls president of basketball is Arturas Karnišovas, who happens to be Lithuanian himself.
But he was born here. He grew up in Chicago.
He was, and that's why look at the emotion that Matis Buzelis has when he hears that he is heading to Chicago. He also, his father is a physiotherapist, and this is his brother. I mean, look at how emotional. You've been in their shoes, Richard.
It is emotional, and it is just emotional for the entire family. And this is also the love and the work that you've all put together to watch it happen.
Matis is with Monica.
Matas, I have an original question for you because I know you're a big-time trash talker, but I want you to put words to the emotion you're feeling first.
I'm blessed, man. This is what I wanted. I wanted to be here. Thank you to the Bulls organization. I'm ready to work, man. I was born for this.
All right, so you got that out of the way. Now, as an elite trash talker, do you have a message for anybody that thought you couldn't be here? And if not, that's totally fine too.
I don't gotta say nothing. I thank everybody who doubted me. Thank you to everyone that doubted me, because I wouldn't be here without y'all. I use it as fuel, and everybody that supported me, I can't thank you enough. The support cast has been insane. So I thank you to everyone.
All right, Matas, congratulations. You get to stay in your hometown of Chicago. Enjoy the rest of the night.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
That is so incredible, getting to stay in your hometown, and you can see the emotion that he, his brother, the entire family really had. This right here, Andrea, this is what draft night is all about. We started tearing up watching this.
Yeah, yes, watching them and the interviews are absolutely tearing me to shreds. I'm glad we are on video for a while so I can pull it together every time. I'm just so happy for all of these guys.
And his brother, it's as if they're sharing. This is a moment for the entire family.
People don't understand. If you are one of the 30 that are selected, your entire family had to send you to IMG. Yeah. There are players that had to leave their families and go to other countries. The amount of commitment that is needed for you to get here and the amount of support. And when you watch this, how many players have we seen drafted that have family members, brothers, other people involved? It takes a community to make these things happen.
People are going to think he was the one that got drafted. The brother, like, that's how excited he
did get drafted.
You're right.
We saw the same thing with Alex R. Alex R. was emotional because he was here and saw his brother's name not called. He was emotional for his brother. Yeah. So it's just, I can't express enough. He'll cry multiple years after seeing this and remembering this moment.
He comes from a family of athletes. His grandfather was a basketball player. His grandmother was an all-time great Lithuanian handball player, one of the all-time greats. And you can see just how much this means to the entire family. And this is something that, you know, we've been sitting up here for several years now. And I don't mean this as hyperbole when I say it's one of my favorite nights of the year. And this is why, because how often do you see what you work for years and years come to fruition in a single instant, a dream that is realized, and having a dream being realized so close to home? I can't emphasize enough how special that is.
Oh, I promise you, on my draft day, I get drafted by Houston, then I get traded to New Jersey. I was not happy. I'm just not going to be really honest. I didn't know much about Jersey. The next day, I get a phone call saying that they traded for Jason Kidd, and there was other players to be named. So in my brain, I'm like, I either get to play with Jason Kidd or I get to play with the Phoenix Suns. So when you get the opportunity to play close to home, to have your family, that means you have even more support around you to help this journey, because the journey's just beginning. This is not the end of the journey. This is the beginning of it.
Well, speaking of emotion, I got drafted in the 5th round by Dallas, and they asked me if I spoke Italian. So that I cried heavy that night.
Because you skipped those Italian ones? Well, these tears of joy as Buzelis joins Ayo DeSumo, Derrick Rose as the only Chicago-born players drafted by the Bulls in the lottery era since 1985. And now the Oklahoma City Thunder, the #1 seed in the Western Conference and the owner of roughly a cajillion million billion picks, are on the clock. And now the pick, it is in. See, this is what Sam Presti's a pro at this sort of pick. Ready to get to the podium. See who is headed to OKC.
With the 12th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Oklahoma City Thunder select Nikola Topic from Belgrade, Serbia, and Serbia's Savina Zaveda.
Nikola Topic, he made his EuroLeague debut at just 16 years old. Our Jonathan Gavoni, as he says thank you so much and shares this moment with his family, compares him to a LaMelo Ball, a Tyrese Halliburton. He has a partially torn ACL. He suffered the injury in January. He missed 4 months. Then he returned in late April. played 3 games and re-injured the same knee. But for him, after going through all of that, you can imagine just what this moment means as he greets his future teammate on Oklahoma City.
Just so special. I mean, Nikola Topic is a player that could run a master class when it comes to executing the pick and roll. He's patient with the ball in his hands. He'll get defenders on his back. He can change speeds. He's not super quick, but the way he changes speeds, he's able to manipulate defenders so well.
Yeah, he's the best passer in the draft, and he gains separation not through being explosive as a point guard, but doing it with his skill level. And, passing, playmaking, he's got it. Like, he's been injured. That's a problem. You're going to have to wait on him for a while in order for him to get healthy. But he's got a fluid handle, really, really good passer.
And let's bring back in our Jonathan Givony here. Jonathan, how much time do we expect him to miss, and what do you notice about his game?
Malika, I wouldn't expect to see Nikola Topic on an NBA court in the next season. Summer League in a year from now is probably the most realistic bet. But this is the best pick and roll playmaker in this draft class. He can make every read and pass under the sun at 6'7" in shoes and 18 years old. Pocket passes, skips, lobs, weak side, strong side. He sprays the ball all over the floor with incredible timing and precision. He's not just a great passer, he's also a powerful force, driving to the paint and finishing skillfully through contact. Malika, we're all looking forward to seeing Nikola Topic on an NBA floor, but we're going to be a little bit patient while we wait.
Well, and we've seen rookies miss their entire first year. Chet Holmgren, Michael Porter Jr., Joel Embiid, for various reasons, come to mind. But he now joins just a decorated roster of Serbian players in the NBA. But say it with me, Richard. Nikola Jokic, Nikola Topic, Nikola Jovic. We're going to be working with all of those on the game broadcast this year, baby.
I'm going to say Nikola. That's what I'm going to say a lot, just not to mess it up. Look, we know Jokic. We know about that. But ultimately, again, Serbia is one of those countries that just generate so many talented players, and it just, especially that entire region, Lithuania, Serbia, Croatia, it is so impressive, the amount of basketball talent from that region.
And now we have a very special guest joining us here on set, UConn coach Dan Hurley. You can exhale now. Whew, thank you so much for spending a little bit of time. You elected to be in the green room for this with your players, not on the NBA side of all this, and now you have 2 top 7 picks in this draft. What was it like watching them go through this, even though you've been here so many times before?
Yeah, amazing, really. And just with those 2 families and those types of young men, just such incredible people. And you just think of what they've done for UConn basketball, and now they get their own personal payout. Everybody won. We won championships, and now they live their dream.
I wanted to ask you specifically about Donovan Clingan, because I know he's a player. Recruiting him was very, very special for you. Staying close to home was special for him. What was it like to see him go so high and rise up the draft boards like this?
Well, I mean, he was from Bristol, and if we didn't get him, my whole staff was getting fired. Right? They were all out, and he's an incredible young man. Obviously, he anchored, the best offense in the country, and he anchored the best defense in the country. And it's just so cool to see him going to Portland. I know Portland loves him, and I know there was another really big, great center that played there in Bill Walton, so it's exciting.
Defensively, especially with Stephon Castle, when he came back from injury, it seemed like he and Clingan helped you guys go from being a really good defensive team to truly elite. What does he bring to the NBA?
Yeah, I mean, with Steph, he just an incredible lockdown defender. When we needed him, in different games to be a scorer, he was our leading scorer at the Final Four. But then when we needed him to be a defensive stopper, he locked up some of the best scorers in the country. When we needed him to facilitate, he created for others. And then, when he wasn't doing that, he was all over the glass. So, I think you're getting a guy who's a 6'6" Drew Holiday type of player.
Coach, you talked about Stephon Castle and how no one impacted winning, and he did it like a freshman. How no one did it the way he did as a freshman. How would you describe his preparedness and his maturity?
Well, with Quan and Stacy, when you got parents like that, it makes the coach's job really, really easy. And they weren't fans. They were great parents, and just old school values, and the kids got incredible work ethic, and just probably couldn't be a better fit organizationally for him. They value championships and winners and workers, and that's exactly what he is.
Dan Hurley, we always appreciate this annual chat that we have here on this set at the draft. Thank you so much for joining us. We wish you the best of luck in the three-peat pursuit. Let's see who the Sacramento Kings have selected.
With the 13th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Sacramento Kings select Devin Carter from Providence College.
Devin Carter, just incredibly high basketball IQ. He was the Big East Player of the Year. He led the Big East in scoring this year, just a little bit under 20 points a game. His father, Anthony, played 13 seasons in the NBA and is currently an assistant for the Memphis Grizzlies. He says the biggest thrill in sports is hitting a game winner. Well, the Sacramento Kings know something about electric offense, Jay, and hitting those type of big shots.
He's one of the best athletes in this draft. Super athletic, incredibly active, and really productive. And Dan Hurley was just talking about Stephon Castle. Devin Carter is also a high-level defender, and he's a great guard rebounder. He's top 10 in the country in defensive rebounds as a guard. He's only 6'3", but he's got almost a 6'9" wingspan. He is tough. He's competitive, and he doesn't have an off switch. But with his athleticism and motor and with his agility, he can really impact the game on the defensive end, getting deflections, block shots. He makes things happen as a defensive playmaker. And you mentioned it, Malik. He averaged 20 points a game as well.
Not to mention, as a curly girl, big fan of the hair. Let's take a look at tonight's prospect resume. It is brought to us by Indeed here, Andrea.
Devin Carter, first of all, amazing last name. Let's just give him credit for the best last name, but
Hey,
also
Mr. Carter.
one of the best two-way guards. His defensive versatility and the intensity he plays with on that side of the ball, just under 2 steals a game. He is so active. He's an aggressive scorer. I like to call him a persistent scorer. You just can't stop him when he's pursuing the rim, when he's attacking the paint. And my biggest thing with him is the way he improved his game. 2 seasons ago, 30% from beyond the arc. This past season, 38% from beyond the arc. Jay, you mentioned his rebounding as a guard. He attacks the defensive glass, and then he pushes in transition. A ridiculous athlete. His hops, 42-inch vertical at the top of the draft. His speed as well. He brings a ton to the NBA court. He is NBA ready.
He makes winning plays. I mean, he impacts winning. Started his career at South Carolina, transferred to Providence, where he was the first Big East Player of the Year at Providence since Chris Dunn.
Let's take a look here at some of his measurables taken, of course, at the NBA Draft Combine.
Well, when you talk about a wingspan like that, especially for a guard, what that does, that allows, one, your handle. That allows you to finish over bigger players. That allows you to extend your arms. That allows you so many different things. So when people look at height, wingspan, yeah, great wingspan, but it's in that comparison to your height. Those are the things that are like little measurables that allow players to get an advantage in small spaces.
And now you're seeing that the Portland Trailblazers, they are on the clock, but actually this pick is headed to Washington. So let's bring in our Adrian Wojnarowski. Woj, what are the details of this trade here?
Malika, Washington is sending Denny Advia, sharp shooting forward to the Blazers. They send back Malcolm Brogdon, the 14th pick here in the draft. Washington also drafted Alex Sarr at number 2, a 2029 first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. This is a Portland team that gets better with Advia, but Washington, they're in a full rebuild right now, and you're going to see them probably in the lottery again next year and the year after, as they do something that hadn't been done in a very long time there, kind of take this program down to the studs. But for Washington now, they get another pick in this first round. Denny Advia, though, on his way to the Blazers.
Denny Advia on his way to the Blazers. Woj, thank you very much. So behind us, you see that the Portland Trailblazers are on the clock, and we wanted to take a look at some notable draft anniversaries that we're seeing here. And even though, yes, this pick is heading to Washington, it is the 50th anniversary of the great Bill Walton, a personality who was larger than life, he was so kind to so very many of us. Richard, you had an incredibly special relationship.
I still get emotional talking about it. He meant so much to me as a mentor, as a father figure, and also when you just watched how he lived his life. And he loved the game of basketball. He recognized that the game of basketball changed his life. And anytime he met someone, he was not afraid to share that story about the game of basketball, about working with John Wooden, about all of the injuries that he went through, and also about his love for broadcasting and talking about this game. So this is an amazing anniversary, and I'm so happy to celebrate him and his family. And the tribute that they did with the Boston Celtics was amazing.
Anytime you would talk to Bill Walton, you would say, how are you doing? And most people kind of blow that off. And he says, you know what? I'm the luckiest guy in the world. I'm certain that that's how these DraftKings feel tonight.
14th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Portland Trailblazers select Bub Carrington from the University of Pittsburgh.
Carlton Bub Carrington. Fans in Washington, even though Portland is picking, are going to be calling him Bub. He is the third, so the nickname Bub stuck. But, I mean, this is a guy who had a triple-double in his college debut. His father comes from a basketball family, is a prominent figure in the Baltimore AAU scene, having coached players like Will Barton, Carmelo Anthony. And you can just see how much this means to him, sharing this with his entire family. I'm loving the handshakes tonight. They're really going to the next level. I'm sure he's going to be taking those handshakes with him to Washington. But Jay, what else are they getting?
Well, you see him hugging Jeff Capel there. Carlton Carrington is a scorer, and he's versatile as a guard, but he can create his own. He can do it in the mid-range. He can shoot it from deep. He's got a very good feel in pick-and-roll situations and making reads. And RJ was just talking about length. He's got a 6'8" wingspan, and he's a very good guard rebounder. But he's got a very good dribble pull-up game, and he can shoot it off the catch. But a good passer as well. Malika, you mentioned that triple-double he had earlier this season. But he just knows how to play. And I thought he played his best toward the end of the season, especially in the ACC tournament, when Pittsburgh was making a push toward the NCAA tournament. I thought they should have gotten in. But he's a really good player that I think has a lot of upside because he's still very young. He's just 18 years old.
He has more buttons down than you.
I like his style already. I think this man is going to be successful right away.
And Rich just actually dropped one button in solidarity.
Well, yeah, it's after 9 o'clock.
Okay, let's keep them all button.
Rich after hours.
You know, Jay, you mentioned the ACC tournament, and you were calling games, and I was sitting there on the sidelines with Jay Will and Carlos Boozer, and I can't tell you.
So you didn't get a word in it.
I didn't get it, but I can't tell you how many times we would just look at each other with our eyes wide at plays that Bub Carrington made with the ball in his hands.
Well, Bub Carrington, Jonathan Gavoni says it's just going to need a little bit time and some seasoning, he says, to be ready to play some real NBA minutes. Coming up here, the Miami Heat, they are on the clock. What is the future of Jimmy Butler in Miami? And the 76ers, might another star be headed to the city of brotherly love? And the Los Angeles Lakers, with a new head coach in place, they have the 17th overall pick. Who are they going to select there? We'll be right back.
What's this?
They're non-negotiables. That's how restaurants at the highest level operate.
These are the scribblings of a madman.
Refire! It's not perfect. It doesn't go out.
Why are you doing this?
We're gonna get a start.
I thought that was a trap.
They're going too slow.
You need to calm down.
What's going on tonight? Have you been here before?
FX is The Bear. All episodes streaming June 27th, only on Hulu.
Disney and Pixar's critically acclaimed Inside Out 2 is breaking records across the world.
Time to celebrate!
Critics and audiences have fallen in love, and now it's the #1 movie in the world.
She'll be okay, right?
50-50. Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2. Rated PG, now playing.
Refresh your senses with a kick of citrus flavor. Do the do. This hot, delicious KFC meal is just $4.99 all day, every day.
Good luck finding a deal this juicy anywhere else.
Whoa, that's a big deal.
Yeah, that is a really, really, really big deal.
Once upon a time, there was an infinity, meticulously crafted to stir your imagination. And dare you to dream. Luxurious, three-row dreams. Where everything for every passenger could be just right. Introducing the all-new three-row Infiniti QX80.
Have arrived. They're with me, and we came to play. We are cooler than cool, serving princess vibes. We have a license to glide, embracing all of our magic. We came to feast. We came to believe. Yeah, we came to play.
Marathon knows that fans are the true co-pilot of any team. So for every grill master, all-star athlete, and face paint fixer, Marathon is here to keep you and your team fueled. Because we're driven together.
BK melts full of flame grill layers. Meet the new Philly, it's stacked with flavor. Juicy beef and melty cheese. All these toppings will make you say sheesh. BK, have it your way.
Karen's about to retire. Here's what's going into her retirement.
There's us. She raised us on our own.
10 years as my roller derby wife.
Preschool she's opened.
She's a mother.
I think we turned out all right.
She's a friend.
Our mothers could tell stories.
She's a teacher.
She may be retiring, but she's not done.
I'm never gonna stop.
Retirement is the sum of your life's work. Now what? Get income for life and protect your life's work with Prudential.
League legends take on the next gen.
Yeah, you can't get enough.
As DT and BG take the floor against the Fever for the first time. Fever, Mercury, we can't get enough. Sunday at 3 p.m. on ESPN.
You're watching the 2024 NBA Draft presented by State Farm. We have a busy weekend coming up here in the WNBA on Sunday on ESPN. We're going to start right here at Barclays Center. The Liberty hosts the Dream. That's at 1 o'clock Eastern. And then Caitlin Clark, the Fever, taking on Phoenix and the Mercury. Our coverage gets underway with WNBA Countdown. That's at 12:30 Eastern. And then you can see the Stars of tomorrow play, well, almost today in July, in the Las Vegas Summer League. The NBA 2K 2025 Summer League is the first opportunity to see the NBA's future stars take the court. So the lottery may have been concluded, but remember, there are some gems that have been picked outside of the lottery.
Yeah, and look, we've seen MVPs. We've talked about Nikola Jokic being an MVP in the second round, but when you look at this, there are so much talent to be had 13 on the way down. It doesn't matter the level of the draft. There will be an all-star picked after the lottery. I guarantee you, because it happens in almost every year.
You know who is better than basically anyone else at finding those gems? It would be the Miami Heat, who are now on the clock. Eric Spoelstra, you see him there. They have been, and look at Pat Riley. He's just zen. He knows exactly our work here is done. We're confident in our process. Of course, Jaime Jaquez was their pick last year. But I think one question for the Miami Heat, outside of who they are selecting right now, is going to be the future of Jimmy Butler in Miami. But right now, the pick is in, so let's head back to the podium.
With the 15th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Khalil Ware from Indiana University.
Khalil Ware, the sophomore center out of Indiana, played his freshman season, of course, at Oregon, sharing this moment with his family. Just taking in all the emotions with the folks who really helped get him to this moment. The emotions, we've seen them all night long for players who've been waiting to hear their dreams be realized, their names be called. He started in all 30 games he played in. He led the Hoosiers in points per game, rebounds per game, blocks per game, field goal percentage. Really a special player here, Jay.
the biggest jump, Malika, that Khalil Ware made from the time he was at Oregon to his time last year at Indiana was how much harder he plays now. The question about him when he was at Oregon was his motor. And his motor revved really high this past season at Indiana. His measurables are great. 7'4" wingspan. He's 6'11", but he's long-armed. He's super athletic, and he puts pressure on the rim at both ends of the floor. You can see the difference in his production. I mean, he's became a big-time rebounder, just under 10 rebounds a game. Finishing plays, scoring. He became an improved shooter, but that's an area where he could still improve. I still think he needs to get stronger in his lower body, but a good rim protector and shot blocker with that length and that mobility. On the offensive end, he's a lob threat. He's just a talented player that is continuing to get better, and he's got great upside. But the fact that he's playing this much harder and shows that he's got the potential to do more is really impressive, and I'm sure that's what the Miami Heat saw in him. But he's been able to push that range out a little bit better.
Yeah.
Still shoots only 63% from the free throw line, but he has improved that shot. Went 17 of 40 this last year from three, just over 40%. But there's a lot to like about Ware.
Well, and that development that you're talking about, the perfect place to go is the hat that he's picking up right now. The Miami Heat really savoring that moment before he put that cap on his head and greeted the commissioner, Adam Silver. I want to bring in our front office insider, Bobby Marks, here because the Miami Heat have some interesting decisions to make right now. Chiefly, what is the future of Jimmy Butler in Miami? Because they've been pretty clear. This is Bam Adebayo's team now here, Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, they don't have to do anything with Jimmy Butler right now. He's under contract for at least the next 2 years. He's got a player option for next year. He's extension eligible right now. You can certainly let this play out and address it next offseason. Here's a player that has not been available to Miami here. So I look at the Heat. Certainly the Butler decision will loom, but this was kind of their free agency as far as what they did at the draft with pick 15. Khalil Ware, he was a free agent in this year's group of NBA players, he would probably be the third or fourth best center out there. So they addressed the need in Miami with this pick right now.
And they really just need to get a healthy season from Hero, Adebayo, and Jimmy Butler so they can see what they're working with that core. Bobby, I want to ask you about the team that is on the clock now, the Philadelphia 76ers, because it looks like, if you just look over there to the city of brotherly love, they do have the room to add another key player. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, Philadelphia is kind of in the driver's seat going into the offseason. They can create up to $65 million in cap space, but that would have them trading out of 16 right now. So certainly you're looking at putting high-level starters next to Tyrese Maxey and Joel Embiid. And I think we got to keep an eye on one player that's still on the board that I thought would go in the lottery is Dalton Connect from Tennessee. He would certainly complement. I know he's 23 years old. I know NBA teams get scared when players are not in their teens, but keep an eye on Connect, either at Philadelphia or a team like the Los Angeles Lakers.
We'll keep an eye on Connect, but as we come back here to the desk for just a second, there is Dalton Connect. As Bobby Mark said, he could be a fit for Philadelphia. But as we come back here to the desk, because this is when Joel Embiid and Paul George were sitting on our NBA countdown desk. Side-eyeing. This was the look that Joel Embiid gave Paul George. I'm not sure that was the start of something, Richard, but with Joel Embiid, who, used to go by Troel Embiid, maybe it is.
Well, look, Paul George is a very, very talented player, one of the best two-way players in this league. The Clippers have struggled with health. And, they've talked about the contract that he was offered in L.A. And so he's weighing his options. He's an L.A. guy. But, yes, Philadelphia could be one of the landing spots for him. When you talk about Tyrese Maxey, when you talk about Joel Embiid, but so many things. We talked about Miami and the health. Can they get Tyler Hero? Can they get Jimmy Butler healthy? Well, that exact same thing goes for Philly. If you bring in a guy like Paul George, he's got to stay healthy, and so does Joel Embiid. We saw their team really plummet from the moment he got injured to basically the moment he tried to come back.
And if you don't bring in a guy like Paul George, let's say they can't get him, one thing Philadelphia could use is three-point shooting. So you talk about a guy like Dalton Connect, Jared McCain, Jacoby Walter. There's so great three-point shooters left on the board.
Johnny Furphy.
Yo, guys. What's up? This is AC from LA Sports Live. We got over 5,000 people in here. Salute to all you guys. We broke the record from the JJ Redick press conference. I need you guys to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that Cash App. Donate to the channel if you like the coverage we're giving you. 76ers are about to pick next, and after that will be the Lakers. And then that'll be pretty much the end of the coverage. I gotta go to work. So you shut your ass up. It's my channel. What the hell are you talking about? Who is that? Anyway, thank you guys for coming through. This is a Lakers channel. Stay tuned to this channel. We're bringing wall-to-wall Lakers coverage throughout the summer and next season. We will be at Summer League doing live coverage at Summer League of the Laker games. So guys, just make sure you stay tuned to LA Sports Live. Subscribe to the channel. And if you guys are waiting for Bronny, it won't be today. It will be tomorrow. He will be drafted tomorrow in the second round by either the Lakers or to the Phoenix Suns.
They're 21 years old. It's just so confusing to me.
The entire panel, Bobby Marks, Jonathan Gavoni, Jacob, everyone has turned their head.
Bobby drafted me when I was 21. What are you talking about, Bobby?
Richard right now.
Yeah. How'd that work out for you, Bobby?
You trying to watch? Go watch it on TV. You know, you go watch it on TV. Talking about who's talking. I mean, it's me. I'm running the channel. This is the reason why you guys are here, because of me.
Doing with this pick here?
Well, if they need shooting, I think some have been mentioned. Jacoby Walter of Baylor can shoot it. You know, we mentioned Dalton Connect, Jared McCain, Johnny Furphy can shoot it. Keyshawn George is a good shooter and a teenager. So if they want teenagers, they got Furphy and George.
Yeah.
When it comes to being tough, too, because I think something that Philly could use is perimeter defense. I mean, Jacoby Walter, tough defender. Jared McCain, tough defender, and both freshmen. So I think those would possibly be the two best options here for Philly.
Here's Jared McCain looking sharp with the double diamond brooch and 2 chains. I think you would look good in something like that, Rich.
Look, he's a well-dressed man, and I will say this. He's got an energy and just something about him that I think he would be great in any locker room in this league.
Let's head back to the podium.
We have a trade to announce. As part of a deal to be finalized later, the Portland Trail Blazers are trading to the Washington Wizards the draft rights to Bub Carrington, the 14th pick. And with the 16th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Jared McCain from Duke University.
Jared McCain, his mantra has been, I'm going to make it for Jace, for his brother, who had blood clots in high school. And McCain says it's not just his dream, but our dream, him and his brothers, to make it to the NBA. Richard, this is what you were talking about. It's everyone, an entire family getting drafted. And Jace was a grad assistant at Duke, so he was able to watch film and rebound for McCain. But Jace, he says, is his biggest inspiration.
I had the pleasure to meet him when he was still a senior in high school. I did a project with him and Juju Watkins. And from that moment, I have followed him at Duke. He just has an energy about him, a smile. There are certain people that when they get on the court, you watch. When you think about Tyrese Halliburton, when Tyrese Halliburton is on the court, he looks like a guy that you want to play with. Jared McCain, say what you want about the TikTok, the 2.7 million followers. He's got 1 million more than I do. I'm trying to get my followers up.
Now.
Yeah, 2.8 now. It's going to just go up higher. But there are just certain players that when you watch them play and you see the energy that they bring to the game and just to life, you're like, I want that player on my team. I want that player in my locker room.
Jay Billis is such an interesting experience. Not only have you seen him play, but you also got a manicure with Jared McCain. He says he's not really superstitious, but he played well after getting a manicure the first time. You see his nails painted black for this occasion, and he just kept doing it. So you had to get in on that French tip action.
Yeah, I mean, that really does sound inappropriate, but I did get my nails painted with Jared McCain, and he's a terrific young man. But the stuff that he's got going on off the court, you might question with another player, but with him, he's such a dedicated worker and such a tough competitor. And that's one of the things that stands out is he's really tough. He's an outstanding shooter, shot 41% from three, makes almost 90% of his free throws. I mean, he's had some great games this last year, put up 35 on the road against Florida State in the NCAA tournament, hit 8 threes against James Madison. And he's competitive. He gets to the glass. Even though he's an undersized guard, he goes to the glass, averages over 5 rebounds per game. He competes.
All right, guys, the Lakers are up next. If the Lakers draft Bronny next, I'm resigning as a Laker fan. He will be drafted tomorrow, I believe, at the number 55 pick. We got about 3 minutes. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave the spoiler. The pick is in. The Lakers are selecting. Well, I ain't gonna say it. I'm gonna let y'all see it.
He has seen that and he has met that challenge. That's why he's here
now. He's with Armonica McNutt. I'm really looking forward to this show.
We have not just Jared, but also Jace. You said you wanted to get drafted for your brother. The moment is here. How are you feeling?
There's no words to describe it. I'm so grateful for this opportunity. And I have no words.
Jace, this guy dedicating this moment and this path and this push to you and being inspired by you, how does that make you feel?
It means everything to me, man. He worked so damn hard for this. And I'm just blessed to be a part of this journey. And it's such a big part of my purpose as a person. So it's everything to me.
Now, much has been made of your 2 million plus TikTok followers, right? But now you're starting your NBA career, and I'm sure that's something that you will share with those that are rooting for you. But what will they see of Jared McCain, the NBA player?
Just somebody who wants to achieve any goal he sets out to, a hard worker. I'm going to do anything I can to bring home a championship, bring home just wins in general. I'm so happy to be here, man.
It's a great moment. Jared, congratulations. Jace, congratulations. You guys enjoy it.
Monica, thank you. Just what a tremendous moment for the whole family. He is really, Jared McCain, into yoga, meditation, journaling. He credits the book, The Inner Game of Tennis, for his mental approach to the game here. And Jay, you touched on it. I mean, he really had a coming out party in the tournament, those 2 30-point games, and Duke, of course, making it to the Elite Eight. But now, the Los Angeles Lakers, they are on the clock. A gentleman we know quite well.
Rob Pelinka?
Rob Pelinka. And the other guy in the polo, do we recognize him? JJ Redick.
Oh, the one with the full sleeve.
Yeah, the new head coach for the Los Angeles Lakers. They look like they are thrilled with whatever decision they just made at the number 17 pick. Really the ceiling for this Los Angeles Lakers team. We all know that it comes down to just the health of LeBron James, Anthony Davis, how much they can be out on the floor together. We saw that this season, and still the ceiling was the 7th seed in the tough Western Conference.
Yeah, it is very, very tough in that Western Conference. It starts with health, but the players around them also have to play better. When you talk about Vanderbilt not being healthy, he was such an important part to their Western Conference final run the year before, was really injured the whole year. Vincent wasn't able to contribute. There were other guys that had down years. Yes, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, they are the base of what you do, but it doesn't matter. You look at the Boston Celtics, your 2 best players, but you got 5 or 6 other players around them that are contributing at a high level.
All right, guys, the Lakers have made their pick. I know who the guy is. As soon as they select him and talk about him, we're going to run his highlight reel from last season. So just stay tuned.
We have another trade to announce. As part of a deal to be finalized later, the San Antonio Spurs are trading to the Minnesota Timberwolves the draft rights to Rob Dillingham, the 8th pick. And with the 17th pick in the 2024 NBA draft, the Los Angeles Lakers select Dalton Connect from the University of Tennessee.
Andrea Carter, our resident voice.
Very surprising pick by the Lakers. I know you guys are surprised, but he was listed as the number 1 best player left on the board. This guy can ball. Hold on, the stream is not over. This guy can ball. I'm gonna put on his highlights from last season. I know a lot of you guys didn't follow Tennessee basketball last year, so just give me a couple minutes, and I'm gonna put on his highlights from last season, and then you guys will see why the Lakers selected Dalton Connect.
As a senior, so he went to junior college. He spent 2 years at Northeastern Junior College, 2 years at Northern Colorado, a year at Tennessee that he calls the best year of his life. But his coach at Northeastern Junior College told this to The Athletic. He said, when people say a gym rat, that's what he is. He loves being in the gym. He loves the smell of it. He loves the sound of it. This is still the quote. That's how much he likes to be in the gym working on his craft.
Well, They Not Like Us is an appropriate song because not many guys started where Dalton Connect was and get to have this moment where you put the hat on and you shake the commissioner's hand. What?
Started from the bottom, now he's here.
Yes, they're playing They Not Like Us, but that song works also. No. But when it comes to Dalton Connect, he can flat out score. He is such a lights out shooter. Catch and shoot from beyond the three-point line. He can get the ball off in transition off of the dribble from beyond the three-point line. He can finish in the mid-range. Any angle, any depth from the three-point line, it does not matter. But he can finish on the inside too. He's got great length. The scoring ability of Dalton Connect will translate immediately to the NBA level.
He's the Roy Hobbs of basketball. Came out of nowhere this last year to be first-team All-America. And his opponents in the SEC had connect rules in order to guard him. Now, they went after him on the offensive end to test his defense, and that's where he needed to improve when he got under Rick Barnes after 2 years at Northern Colorado. He became a better defender, but there's still a long way to go for him on the defensive end, but he's got all the tools. Athletically, size, he's got a 6'9" wingspan. But I agree, Andrea, he can really score. He can shoot it off the deck, and he can finish once he gets to the rim. He's a big-time scorer.
I look forward to seeing the connection that he builds with the Los Angeles Lakers, but just a little bit more on his story here, Andrea. He grew up. Look at the cute baby photos here. I love those. He grew up in Thornton, Colorado. He was 5'8" as a sophomore and then shot up to 6'6" when he was in junior college. Again, he received no Division I scholarship offers and is now a first-round pick.
And what's really special about Dalton Connect is he went to Tennessee to be challenged by Rick Barnes on the defensive end. He went to Tennessee to be coached hard and to be held to a high standard. That's what he wanted in his game.
Number one is up for grabs and available amongst really a trio. Here's Connect, his first three. First three by either team. Volunteers have made just one of their last 8. It came from Connect. So is that one.
Don't take him out until he makes another three. That action right there, that pin down NASCAR cut. Both teams are very good, Tom, at that type of a game.
Here's Connect again. Power game with his left.
How good is he, man? He can go either way. Dalton Connect, when he comes off this NASCAR cut, running into a turn like that, it is money because the Kai Ziegler is throwing strikes, and then you come out and chase him down, and you're there on the catch. He just lowers his shoulder and let's go into a man if the ball gets to the middle part of the floor.
Seems like you need to find that man. Yeah. Connect makes him pay.
He just cuts right through from behind the defensive guards up top to an open shot. Broome has struggled, only 65% in conference play. They showed zone again. They showed zone again. And went right to the inside of it. Got that violent cut out of the corner by Dalton Connect, and the game has flipped back-to-back possession. Look at Jonas Adu against the zone. And Lior Berman got caught watching the ball just for a split second. And look at Dalton Connect set his guy up like he's sprinting out to the corner three, but plants that outside foot midweek. Keep an eye on Dalton Connect.
From deep with 2 guys in front of him. Dalton Connect, the superstars, get 25.
You just can't let him catch the ball when he's on a roll right now. SEC Player of the Year race, I think he will win it. Right behind him, Antonio Reeves at Kentucky and Mark Sears at Alabama. Janai Broome also in the conversation. There he goes. Unguardable. Just absolutely unguardable one-on-one. Watch Connect. He hard drives and straight up, straight down. There's no float in his game.
Baker Mazar fighting through the screens. Connect pulls up over Williams.
That's a very simple pin down into a curl. Keep the game simple. Go to your. There's a mismatch.
Deep three.
Come on now.
32 points for Dalton Connect. Tennessee leads by 5. Tennessee buckets have come from this man, Dalton Connect.
Probably tried you this time.
Indeed. Two-hand jam. 3-level score doesn't begin to describe the Dalton Connect damage he can do on the offensive end. What a stud. Off the window and in. 37.
He was not going to give the ball up. And Bruce Pearl has the number 10 to 12:30 p.m. Dalton Connect was in an empty Thompson Bowling Arena, getting up shots, stretching, getting an ice bath, doing work. This kid, there's no answer for him. The versatility, the size, the strength, the length, these gambles pay off. Sometimes they don't.
Connect with a 37-point night and make it 39.
Absolutely ridiculous.
Such streak in SEC history. They rode Dalton Connect to a monster second half. Points on 21 attempts.
All right, guys, the Lakers made their pick. Like it or not, Dalton Connect. We will be seeing him at the Summer League in Vegas this summer. The stream is ending now. If you don't like the stream, you can leave, bro. That's all you got to do. Anyway, thanks for everybody coming through. And despite all the haterism, we did get several cash apps. So thanks to everybody who donated to the channel through the cash apps, and to all the bums, stay bumming. But anyway, this is a Lakers channel. This is what we're going to highlight. If you don't like it, go on. Now, we will be back tomorrow with the second round coverage. And this is when you guys are looking for Bronny. Everybody wants to see Bronny. More than likely, Bronny will be selected sometime tomorrow. And something tells me that he will not be selected by the Lakers. I think there's a very strong chance Bronny will be selected by either the Phoenix Suns or the Dallas Mavericks. Anyway, guys, so we'll be back tomorrow, same time for the second round. Do me a favor, like, comment, share, subscribe. It really helps the channel out, and I really appreciate it. And I will wrap with y'all later.